The incoming chairman of the ECCB Monetary Council that met in Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister Gaston Browne, reported during a press conference 18 July that there was no evidence of malpractice by anyone in regard to the multi-million-dollar official residence for the bank's governor, which is nearing completion at Beacon Heights, St. Kitts. According to Chairman Browne, procedures were followed, but the sharing of information between the Central Bank's Board of Directors and the ECCB Monetary Council was not sufficient. This is the explanation that the chairman provided when asked about it at the press conference.
One thing I can say for sure, there is no evidence of any malpractice by anyone who was responsible for monitoring this particular project. In fact, it went through all of the necessary procedures. For example, the bids went to tender and they were selected accordingly. Bids for the consultants, for the contractor, architect, and all of the procedures were followed. This particular project was managed primarily by the Board of Directors. As you know, the council itself and council members, we concentrate primarily in policy formulation, and the history of the operations of the council is such that it does not get involved in project management. So you did not have that regular, let's say, feeding of information to the council. In fact, to the best of my knowledge, the issue of the cost of construction of the governor's residence was never a formal item on the agenda. But we felt, however, that council members should have been kept informed via the directors, and that is where we felt that there was some weakness in terms of sharing information at the time.
The chairman said several recommendations were made to strengthen the reporting mechanisms for the overall governance of projects.
There's also a requirement, for example, that any project in excess of $10 million, that it should be fed up to the council, and they must get a no objection from the council before they pursue any such project. Now, the idea is not for the council to micromanage these projects. I mean, we expect that between the consultants that we employ and the board of directors and so on, that they have the competence to manage these projects. But at the same time, we are strengthening the reporting mechanisms, and at the same time to ensure that amounts in excess of $10 million that the council members should be kept up to date routinely. So one of the major outcomes out of this is that the governance framework will be strengthened, and whereas before, the information caught us somewhat flat-footed, in the future we should have the information. And I don't know that, if, for example, that we did not have a flawed bill of quantity, and the fact too that one of the bids clearly was outlier, I don't know that the building necessarily would have cost less than the $20+ million. So there's no evidence to suggest otherwise.
Earlier this year, a leaked letter from Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalve expressing condemnation of the project for its high cost stirred up a range of commentary, accusations, and speculation. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.